Our town, our TV. Amherst City Cable.
Welcome to the Sports Show. I'm your host, Ty House, along with the big homie,
Alex Squires. How you doing, Ty?
I'm doing amazing as always. How about yourself?
Likewise. It's a good day. It's a good day. It's a little chillier today.
It's
a
the
little
summertime. I do
rainy,
not
but
understand this chilliness in the summertime.
Yeah. It feels like fall out there.
I want some 90-degree weather.
I could take it or leave it.
I need some 90-degree weather.
I like it all.
It's
I like it
July.
all.
We're supposed to have 90-degree weather.
Yeah.
85.
85 is cool. I'm cool
No
with 85.
rain.
No rain. Yeah, I don't like the rain.
I don't understand it. We could get into a weather report, but, that would be, around here cause for cancellation.
Yes.
If we're talking baseball.
It would, because,
if we're talking baseball,
you can't play it in the rain.
85 degrees, so almost certain that a thunderstorm will be rolling through.
Yeah.
And the Cleveland Indians will be canceled.
They will. They're playing today, though.
They playing amazing, man. Did LeBron sign with the Cavs? I mean, the Indians?
He signed with the Cavs, not with the Indians.
You sure he didn't sign it with the Indians?
Well, take it easy
It's
with
like-
the Indians. I mean, they did well against those Detroit Tigers over the weekend.
They did.
But they just dropped 2 out of 3 to the last place Minnesota Twins. So
That's good.
I guess if you say so. But it was really nice to see them coming out of the break and take 3 out of 4 from Detroit.
Right.
But, because that's exactly what they had to do. In order
They made a little move. They were 7.5 games back, and they went to Detroit, 4-game series over the weekend. And like you say, took 3 out of the 4, and now they're 5.5 games back.
Yeah, and the Kansas City Royals are in a free fall. They
Just fell under 500.
Yeah, they had a cup of coffee at the top of the division, I believe.
Real quick.
Yeah, a day or two.
Now they 7 games back.
Yeah, now they're just plummeting. They're just being the Kansas City that we've seen for the past 5 years. And I keep hearing people talking about how this year Kansas City was the sexy pick to take over the division. I've heard that a lot this year. When I thought they were the sexy pick to win the division for the past 5 years, because that's what it seemed like.
That's what I thought you was fit to go there. I maybe a couple of years away. They got a lot of young, great players that, if they don't move, if they can keep them in Kansas City, they could be really good in the future, just not this year. I didn't think it would happen this year.
Not this year, but, that's me and Greg, I remember talking to Greg about it, just every year for the past 5 years, this is the year. This is the year Kansas City's going to take the next step, but we've yet to see it. So I'm not sure if it's a coaching issue or some kind of front office not doing things properly. I mean, was it? It was last year when they made the Will Myers deal, if I'm not mistaken. They sent away Will Myers. They got back James Shields, and no one thought James Shields was gonna re-sign with them. It's still yet to be seen if he's going to re-sign with them, but that's going to be a big piece for them re-signing him.
Yeah, that's a big thing about what's going on right now in the whole Major League Baseball period with the trade deadline coming up.
Yeah,
it's a lot of big name trade bait that's out there that's got some big contracts attached to them.
Yeah.
Like, do you really want to take on all that money if you are a team that's just to win now? Do you want to mortgage your future to win now?
Yeah, that's what it comes down to, is if the team wants to do that or not. When you look at like a David Price, he seems to be the hottest name on the trade market right now. He's got a nice sized contract that someone's gonna have to take on.
$14 million this year, and then that's it.
Yeah.
He can walk away, and he's gonna get a new contract next year.
So if you
$17 million, $18 million.
So if you're gonna give up some prospects for David Price, you better know that he's gonna help you win this year.
Right, definitely.
Because he's gonna get.
But I mean, you're gonna have to give up a lot. Because even though Tampa Bay is 8 games back in the AL East.
Oh, they were the worst team in baseball there for a second. They've won.
Not as of late, though.
No, that's what I'm saying.
They're one of the better teams as of late. They're 6 straight.
Yeah.
And they might not want to give up David Price. Like I say, they're only 8 games back with a little under 60 to play.
And that team, you can never count that team out. You never can, because every year they seem to make their way into the playoffs.
Right, and
every year.
The AL East is, You know, you got Baltimore on top, the Yankees 4 games back, Toronto 4 games back, which is that's what a weekend series.
Yeah.
And then you got Tampa Bay 8 games back, and Boston, who has been playing pretty good.
They
as
have been
of
playing
late,
pretty well lately.
only 8.5 back with under 60 to play. So anything could happen in that division too.
It really could. And Toronto's a team that saw themselves at the top of the division for a while there.
Right.
But they just don't have the pitching to hold up. The lineups there with them, they can swing the sticks, but they really don't have the pitching. Not starting or in the bullpen do they have it. I just don't see it for them.
Okay. And the AL West is pretty much a 2-team race.
Yeah, you got
Oakland and the Angels.
Yeah.
But the Angels are definitely, making ground.
Yeah.
They're 2 games back.
And
They were a little bit further back last time we talked back earlier about the All-Star break, before the All-Star break.
Yeah, you have to imagine they're gonna continue to play well with that roster. They have a great lineup, top to bottom, the best player in baseball they have, and then they have plenty of solid pitchers. They can definitely. They just made the.
You're talking Oakland, right?
No,
I'm talking the Angels.
I'm talking the Angels. That's what I'm saying. They're going to keep winning, I assume, and then they're going to keep gaining on Oakland. But Oakland, a lot of people regard them as the best team in baseball. They're going to start. They're going to keep playing the way they are. They figured.
So does that make you? I mean, if you're the Angels and you're 2 games back of the best team in baseball, does that make you the second best team in baseball?
Maybe. I mean, they filled a hole. They go and get they send off Ernesto Frieri, who did nothing but blow saves, and they bring in Jason Gurley, and then they go ahead and they make the Houston Street acquisition. He's going to slide right into that closer role, and then they move Joe Smith down to the 8th inning where he's more suited for that role, and then have Jason Gurley there for some middle relief. That clears up a lot of things for them, and that lineup's just it's one of the best in baseball. Now they get a healthy Josh Hamilton. Hopefully, I think Eric Ibar is a little nicked up, but once he gets back to full strength, they're going to be in full force. So
you think, let's say the AL period right now, who would be your 3 division winners if you could pick a winner right now?
It'd be hard for me to bet against Oakland in the West because they just they're obviously not doing the Moneyball thing anymore, but they're doing something that's working.
Right.
He figured something out.
They scare me.
Yeah, and they go and they acquire Jeff Samardzija and Jason Hamill. I don't know if they're going to try to flip Jason Hamill or not.
Both of those teams out west scare me. We gotta. I mean, speaking of, I'm saying we as the Tigers. Sorry,
so
we got a series this weekend against the Angels.
Yeah.
And, that's kind of scary.
Well, and then in the Central, I mean, you have to like Detroit. You have to like. What they've been able to do without Prince Fielder and with a new head coach, and I mean that pitching staff. It wasn't quite what it was last year as far as dominance, but it's still
they still
a
there.
very solid staff.
If I was looking at the list of teams with wins, pitchers when they wins, and the Tigers have 4 pitchers out of the top 20.
Yeah.
In wins. So I mean even though Verlander is having a mediocre, you would say, season. I kind of look at it as more as he's bored with the regular season.
I do not look at it that way.
I mean, last year we got to where we got to in the ALCS, and we were injured. Cabrera was hurt.
Yeah.
Verlander was going through a little thing with his finger and all that old crap. I mean, not to be making excuses.
I understand. I understand.
So it's kind of like, okay, if we could coast by with this division, and get to the playoff and really start playing some ball, then we'll be good. Everybody healthy. We just trying to coast into the playoffs.
I mean, I get that, and it makes sense. It makes a whole lot of sense. I don't see.
But you got to be careful.
I don't see why they can't do that. But Verlander, I don't know that he's bored. I really don't. You just have to think that all the innings he's pitched over these past several years is catching up with it.
Yeah.
He's running out of bullets.
Yeah.
And that has to be it.
But see, at the same time, you gotta. Yeah, you're right.
It's hard to make an argument against it.
When you're so good, though.
Yeah.
People sit up and study what it is that you do, and once they pick up on what it is that you do, if you don't have something different to offer, then it's like.
Yeah, but Verlander's been good for a long time. Yeah. You would think they would have figured it out by now. But and still, which has been their Achilles heel in the past, is that bullpen. They still have no one there.
Yeah, I think they. I don't want to just talk about the Tigers. I want to talk about the NL Central. This is where the race is taking place.
Yeah, definitely.
You got the Milwaukee Brewers first place. You got the Cardinals a game and a half back. Pittsburgh 2.5 back, and the Reds 4.5 back.
Any one of those teams could take this division.
Pittsburgh won the division last year. Am I correct?
Yeah.
St. Louis was the wild card.
No, vice versa.
St. Louis won the division, and Pittsburgh was a wild.
Yeah. I remember Pittsburgh was leading the division for a long time, but they stumbled there at the end of the season.
Okay.
But they still got in the wild card.
And that's how they made it. And they won the wild card game, right?
Yeah.
The wild card game is not like it's a series.
Yeah, you know, it's one game.
One game.
It's one game.
Kind of like a tie or something.
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
I think it's kind of silly as well, having just one game. They should at least play three. You know?
Yeah.
3's fine. You know, 3 is not. It's not going to wear anybody out. It's just 2 more games. You know, and it's just any team can beat any team on any given day.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Right.
It's just like Sundays in football. You know.
That's going to be a good race to watch, that NL Central.
Oh, absolutely. Just with all the. There's just so much going on there too. Milwaukee. I want to believe in Milwaukee. I really do, but I don't see.
That's a great story.
It is. It really
Basically,
is. It is.
That's something for Disney.
But
But this is Major League Baseball.
Right. I don't see their
might
pitching
own
holding
Major
up.
League Baseball. I don't know.
I don't see their pitching holding up at all. I mean, they have a really nice lineup. Real nice lineup.
Right.
The young kid who they have, Scooter Gennett. They brought him in. He's playing out of his mind. You know, to fill that second base void that they had. The outfield, Chris Davis is playing really well to go along with Jonathan Lucroy is having a career season. Then you still have Carlos Gomez and Ryan Braun in there, obviously, and Aramis Ramirez, another all-star. The lineup's there for them. But,
it's going to be kind of hard to hold St. Louis off, and Pittsburgh's not a bad team, and Cincinnati's right there.
Cincinnati has some injuries. If they don't go through this stretch that they're in without Votto and Phillips, and they're gonna struggle. They may find themselves too far back if they can't tread water at least through this time.
All right, well, we're gonna take a break. We come back. I'm gonna throw a few names at you that could possibly make a move, trade deadline. Speaking of trades, we'll discuss a little love.
Yeah.
We gotta get a little love in the segment. See what's going on with that, and maybe discuss a little football that's coming up.
Hey, it's right around the corner.
Training camp starting up. You're watching the Sports Show. We'll be right back.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
All right, you ready for some baseball trivia?
Let's do it.
What year produced the most no-hit games in the big leagues?
7 no-hitters in 1990.
Wow, that's right. Now a question that's not trivial. How many children will witness bullying this year?
Huh.
The answer? 3 out of 4.
75%?
That's
wow.
right. How many of them will say something?
Kids want to help, but don't know how. Teach them how to stop bullying and be more than a bystander at stopbullying.gov.
Our town, our TV. Amherst City Cable.
Welcome back to the Sports Show, where we're talking Major League Baseball.
Yeah. Yeah!
Major League Baseball.
Come on, we're supposed to get
Fantastic.
We're supposed to get fired up here,
I
Ty.
can't steal the NBA's slogan, can I?
Yeah, that's true.
Oh,
That's true.
I wanted to quickly glance over. We did mention the NL West.
Yeah.
San Francisco and the Dodgers. The Dodgers is 1 game back. And then the NL East
Yeah, we didn't mention them at all either.
Washington is in leading.
Say
the league.
they should win that division. That's a boring division to me.
The Nationals.
Yeah.
The Braves are only 2 games back.
Yeah, as I say, the Braves are really the only team in my mind that can challenge them. But the Nationals, you know, they're.
What happened to the Phillies?
What do you mean? What happened to the Phillies? They're old and boring, and I hate the Phillies. There's not a professional sports team I hate more than the Philadelphia Phillies.
Didn't they win some championships?
They were good, you know, back, you know, what was that, like 2006, 2007?
They disappeared.
Yeah. Well, you know what happened is they all are so old. That team is so old and slow.
That to me
done.
was a great segue into what I want to talk about now, because I put together a little list with the help of the internet. You know, doing a little research.
Yeah.
Of players that I think could possibly make a move.
Yeah.
Could be on the trade deadline before July 31st. Got like 10 players here. You know, and then a few more on the other side that I, threw in there.
Yeah, we already talked David Price. He's the big one.
Most of the top players are Phillies.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
A bunch of old, highly paid.
Can say because they're old at the end of their contracts, and they're on a bad team. So
let's start off with Mr. Motormouth, Jonathan Papelbon. I mean, this guy can pitch.
He can pitch.
He's a closer.
He can still close games. He definitely can.
1.17 ERA this season.
Mm-hmm. He's no, who's that guy for the Phillies that went perfect that one year? Brad Lidge? Something,
I think I hear my producer in my ear.
He's not him, but he could still close games. He could definitely still get the job done. And there's teams out there that need closers, so there's definitely going to be a market for him.
He's 33 years old. He's a right-handed pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
He's making $13 million this year. Mm-hmm. And $26 million over the next 2 years.
Yeah.
We are halfway through baseball season. He's a closer.
Mm-hmm.
He's only pitched in 38 innings.
That's not that low.
$13 million, man, and you only pitched in 38.
That's what closers do. You know, you're not
have to work a little bit harder than that for the $13 million. I mean, we going $13 million. Ain't that like what would be the average price for a starter?
You see, man, it's baseball. It's baseball. The money.
David Price is only making $14 million, man. He pitching on a regular basis.
Yeah. Jonathan Papelbon got a real nice contract when he left Boston. He really did. That's probably why he left Boston.
Who's gonna pick that contract up? I mean, in the trade, is there some way for them to maybe pay that $13 million for the rest of this season? And then, like in the NBA, amnesty that $26 million.
I don't believe that they do that in the major leagues. But still, that those figures are huge. You know, those figures are huge in basketball terms. But in baseball, that's just regular money. You know, the baseball money is so much more than other sports.
Okay, because I'm my next person, another Philly.
Yeah.
AJ Burnett.
Right.
37 years old.
Mm-hmm.
$15 million this year.
Mm-hmm.
He has a 4.08 ERA.
Yeah, it's nothing to sneeze at. You know, it's not good. It's
that
not
could help
bad.
out a team. You know.
Definitely, especially a team that that needs a veteran presence. Because like you said, he's 37 years old.
Right.
He's a bit of a hothead though. Could potentially become a locker room cancer, even though you don't really hear about that.
Jonathan Papelbon too.
You don't really hear about that in baseball. You don't hear about locker room cancers in baseball for whatever reason. But yeah, he's definitely a hothead and a guy to watch out for.
That might be what's wrong with the Phillies. AJ Burnett and Papelbon got the locker room divided. They Bloods and Crips or something.
Maybe, but I think it just had to big stupid Ryan Howard out there hitting 220 and tripping over himself all the time.
That hurts too. Another player, Arizona.
He still got that Subway money coming in though.
Hey, endorsements are always a good thing to have.
But I find it crazy how I turn on the TV, like I go home right now and turn it on, and I could still see right now a Subway commercial with Ryan Howard in it. I understand that they signed contracts, you know, and
you can still see one with the Subway dude too, Garrett or Jarrett.
Jared is still relevant. Ryan Howard is no longer relevant in any way. Jared will always be the face of Subway.
Wow. See, they upgraded Wendy's.
No, they did not. I cannot stand her, man.
Let's get back to baseball,
serious?
man. Martin Purdue.
Martin Prado?
Him.
Yeah.
Arizona.
Yeah. He's a guy, he can play multiple positions. He can play
infield, outfield.
Infield, outfield, yeah. Normally when a guy plays shortstop, he plays shortstop, and that's it. So, you never really see him in short, but he can play third, he can play second, he can play in the outfield. And
utility player.
Yeah, definitely. If that's what you're looking for. I mean, he could be your everyday third baseman if you want him to, but he could also move around and play some different positions. And
he might be a good
player.
pickup for one of these teams that's going to be in like a Milwaukee. In first place, experiencing some injuries, or Cincinnati,
maybe
who's experiencing a few injuries, and
maybe it's a possibility. I'm not sure if that's a guy that they're looking at, to trade.
I'm just throwing something out there.
I understand that. If Arizona's going to make a move, you got to think they're going to look, at I would think the first person they would look to deal would be Mark Trumbo, personally, or this David Peralta kid that's been playing out of his mind lately.
Yeah, let's do that. Get rid of him. Cliff Lee.
Yeah.
25.
Again.
$25 million, man.
Again, it's baseball. These guys make a whole lot of money.
Hold on.
A whole lot of money.
$52 million through 2016.
That's a whole lot of money. It is. But again, it's baseball.
I better go to the batting cage. I need some practice or something, man. This is amazing. The money that money sounds real good for 1 year.
Yeah, it does.
Let's talk about this Kevin Love deal, man. Let's just leave baseball alone.
Okay.
Let's just go back into basketball and talk about this whole Kevin Love. Everybody in the Cleveland area is in an uproar like they were a couple of weeks about is LeBron coming back. Mm-hmm. Now is what can we do to get Kevin Love?
Yeah, it's like they're never satisfied for whatever reason. They get LeBron, and now they have to have Kevin Love. They have to have him.
Kevin Love told the Cleveland Cavaliers that I will sign a long-term contract with y'all.
Yeah.
Which means he'll wait till next year to sign this long-term contract with them.
He will.
So I don't understand what all the hoopla is about. We're going to play this season, and we're going to wait till next season, and we're going to add Kevin Love to the mix.
That
Keep
could,
who we got, add Kevin Love to the mix.
I mean, LeBron's not getting any younger, right? So I think, the sooner you can add Kevin Love, the better. Mm-hmm. Even if we're not in position to win a championship this year with Kevin Love, because let's face it, Kevin Love doesn't have any playoff experience, and everybody knows that playoff basketball is a whole different world from regular season basketball. So you bring in Kevin Love, LeBron and Varejao are still the only players on the team. I guess Mike Miller and James Jones now too. But they're still the only players that have any playoff experience. So I don't see how everyone thinks just bringing Kevin Love in is going to make you all of a sudden the favorite. I mean, you do have LeBron James.
I mean, my thing with Kevin Love is over the 6 years he's been in the league, he hasn't played a complete season.
Still.
He hasn't played a complete season.
Yeah, but
and you're adding him to a team that has a point guard that's been in the league going on his fourth season and hasn't played a complete season.
Yeah, but
I'm saying this team could easily fall into a Miami Heat team by mid-season where all you got is LeBron James. Kevin Love's back hurting. Kyrie done twisted his ankle.
Both those guys I give a pass to as far as I don't consider either of them injury prone because neither of them missed significant time on a good basketball team. Kyrie missed time when if the Cavs were in the middle of a race and
he would have been playing.
He would have been playing. And even on the times that they couldn't be playing, both of those. I mean, Kevin Love, he broke his hand and he missed significant time 1 year. Kyrie did the same thing when he punched the wall. Those were freak things. They're not injury prone. It wasn't a knee. It wasn't things that you need to worry about nagging. They were just
those reasons are the reasons why I wouldn't make the move. I would just wait it out.
Yeah, I think I would wait it out too. I mean,
even if Minnesota decided to make a move to send him to Chicago or to send him to Golden State, he doesn't have to sign with either one of those teams, and he'll be a free agent next summer.
Right.
And he's already said he wants to come to Cleveland.
Yeah, but what if LeBron's a free agent next summer too? Then what?
LeBron not gonna do that to y'all, man.
You don't want to rule it out. And then next year, Kevin Love and LeBron are both Los Angeles Lakers.
Wow.
What happens then?
Wow. Wow.
Then we don't look so smart for waiting. Like I said last week, I see both sides. Both sides make sense.
That's an interesting conversation for next week's show.
Well, LeBron and Kevin Love playing for the Lakers?
LeBron and Kevin Love to the Lakers. I know there's some happy cats in this studio right now.
There's one at least. That's about it.
Do you think that's possible to happen before Kobe leave? What do you think about Kobe going to New York? Trading Kobe to New York for Amar'e Stoudemire.
Wait, did you just make that up?
I'm saying it makes sense.
No, it doesn't.
It does make sense.
It doesn't make sense for anybody.
It does make sense. It makes sense for the Lakers because look, you're gonna lose Kobe's contract. You're gonna lose that money that he got on your books next year, and you're gonna get an Amar'e Stoudemire that's already on a bad team. We'll talk about it a little bit more. I'm gonna write that one down.
Amar'e Stoudemire is a bum.
Exactly, but Kobe with Phil the last 2 years, and we get money off our books plus some draft picks out in LA to rebuild our team.
I guess
makes sense.
They say there's no loyalty in sports, so I guess you couldn't be too surprised to see.
He'll be a Laker. He'll be retired a Laker.
That's what I assume.
And so will Phil, or whichever team he decided to be retired with, the Bulls, Lakers, Knicks.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it next week.
Yeah.
We get back into some basketball and football, man. We gotta talk football. Training camp
right
starting
around the corner.
up. This is the Sports Show. That's the big homie,
Alex Squires.
And I'm Ty House. Thank you for joining us. Till next week. Peace.
Serving Amherst and Amherst Township, your hometown television station, Amherst City Cable.